A few months ago, I was watching this video by Game Maker's Toolkit, and when talking about persistent upgrades in roguelike games, the show's host, Mark Brown, said this.
But with nothing tangible to show for it, you don't get that unique dopamine rush that comes from numbers ticking up.
This quote stood out to me because I thought it was such an odd way to phrase a fairly common experience of watching your score go up in games. Yet, this strange sentence stuck in my mind for months, and the more I thought about it, the more I continued to realize the truth that it holds. Because yeah, as humans we often spend our time just watching and waiting for numbers to go up.
Oh, yeah!
This idea stretches beyond video games, and is particularly prevalent on the internet and social media. I mean, Snapchat streaks, follower counts, Tinder matches, number of fish in the Facebook Messenger game Big Fish. People just love raising numbers. And sure, most of these counters mean something that can be interpreted as people liking you, so of course it makes you feel good, but it's crazy that each and every one of these apps, websites, social media platforms, and games, at their core, boil down everyone's feelings of validation and success to a couple of simple numbers. But despite the strange, morally yucky ways these platforms motivate you to keep coming back, desperately trying to build up your numbers, it doesn't change the fact that as humans, we willingly do so, because something about seeing these numbers go up is genuinely really fun. There's been loads of research done on social media and what makes it fun and even addicting to use, and at the risk of sounding too much like studies show, I thought it was an interesting topic that was worth looking into. And the basic idea behind the research is that social media has been designed to give us quick bursts of dopamine, making us feel happy and rewarded every time we get more fish likes. Humans have been around for at least 12 years, and during that time our brains have continually rewarded us with that happy chemical dopamine whenever we have a positive social interaction. And now, with the convenience of the internet and social media, we can tap into these social interactions whenever and wherever we want. So, at the base level, seeing our posts get likes and our accounts gain followers feels like a successful social interaction, and our brains will reward us as such. But social media makes things much more complex in an effort to keep you coming back to their platform. Because things aren't as simple as just post a status, watch the likes go up, then leave. If it were that consistent, the effect would wear off pretty quick. But as anyone who's posted a cringy joke online, only to delete it later can tell you, every post performs differently. This means that there's a level of randomness to your own personal performance on social media, and psychologically that actually makes the brain feel more rewarded whenever you happen to get a few more likes or retweets than usual. Since it's so unpredictable whether or not your post will be successful, it keeps people coming back, habitually checking their phone to see if they've finally been rewarded with that extra boatload of likes. And you see the same thing happen in many games. Opening a loot box and seeing yourself finally get that rare item fires off a nice burst of dopamine, and winning an online game to see your global rating rise always feels good, even in games like Mario Kart, where winning or losing is decided relatively randomly. In this way, you can kind of think of social media like a video game. They are similar forms of entertainment in the sense that they all display these numbers to represent your success, encouraging you to keep coming back to watch the number go up. I honestly find it funny that even Tinder employs this same strategy and feels exactly like a game at times. I mean, you edit your profile to try and maximize the number of likes. You can strategically choose when to swipe right, swipe left, and super like in order to make the most of your swipes. And there's a reason they play this fancy animation whenever you get a new match, to celebrate each of your victories as your number of matches goes up. Hopefully. Of course, it's not always rewarding though. All of us who have grown up in the past few decades know the harm social media can have on your mental health. And it's clear that the way these platforms capitalize off of this desire for big ol' numbers also has its disadvantages, especially considering the fact that most social media sites will publicly display your follower count to the world. It's a uniquely modern problem where there are all sorts of pressures to entertain people and keep up a good-looking online presence, and it creates so many weird situations where it is so easy to remember how many followers you have in comparison to others, so whenever somebody decides maybe they don't want to follow you anymore, you're left with a pang of guilt as you try to figure out who left and why did they stop following you. No one ever had these problems in the past, because it's not like you'd ever write someone an email like, "Hey Wamp, just wanted to let you know that I heard that joke you made yesterday. Yeah, the one about the frogs, and it was really bad and I decided I don't want to ever hear from you again. Love, Dad." But I'm not here to make any outrageous claims like social media is the downfall of our society and it must be stopped. No, I think we're experiencing the natural advancement of technology. And while it's obviously important to regulate your screen time and not obsess over likes, rankings, followers, and subscribers, the fact is that these things are designed to be enjoyable. And at the end of the day, we will never be immune to the unique dopamine rush that comes from numbers ticking up. Damn it!